kept waiting.
Hello and welcome to CrossCast episode 75, recorded live on Tuesday 14th of June 2022. I'm Alex, your host for today, and I haven't prepared any witty introductions for the evening, partially because I lack wit, and partially because I'm still getting over Ben's sexual positions. I am, however, joined by my three glamorous assistants. I have Dan. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Ben. Hi.
Hello.
Oh, essential. And the lovely Lewis. Hello. Bye, that was a good impression. I'll give you that one. How well done? Good?
Really
good, mate,
good.
yeah. Really, really good.
Yeah.
What are we all
Exceptionally
drinking
well.
tonight?
Well, I'm going to jump
something
straight
a
in.
bit fancier.
Go on, I'm drinking red wine, and I've had a couple already.
What?
So,
There's that weird goblet / weapon glass
it's
you've
a
got.
glassy bit of... It's
That's
heavy.
a
I've
bottle
had this
is what that
discussion
is.
so many times. Stop criticising my glasses. It's very...
It's heavy, or you're just incredibly...
It's a heavy glass. Yeah, I've had a few red wines on a Tuesday night. I've had a big old fillet steak, 300 grams, imported from South Africa, and I am raring to go.
No pun
Ben had a
intended.
steak. Did you know that? They didn't tell anyone. It's not like we've seen 17 pictures of it and heard
I've got
it
more.
four
Do you want me
times.
to say? Should I
Nah, you're fine. You're fine.
That was a fillet steak. The size of that fillet. Bloody hell.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a big cow.
It was a whack. It was
the
made of
greatest,
wax. It wasn't real.
The greatest hunter of all. Man. That's what that steak is. Man steak.
Yeah. I have a lovely Erdinger alcohol-free grapefruit. So I found a nice fruity one.
Oh.
And it's very,
Nice.
very nice and very refreshing. Quite summery. Almost getting me in the mood for summer, but not quite. Still raining.
Happy said summer there.
What's
I'm drinking Prosecco, like I said before, that you guys kindly got me for the birth of our second born. So there we go.
Lovely.
Lewis, you better have something out of character as well.
I do, actually.
Petrol.
Something very much out of character. I've got water.
That is the most out of character you could possibly be.
It is most out of character, because I feel like I could potentially vomit out the window. So
Watch out, Mr.
keep your eyes
Tramp.
peeled.
Might enjoy it.
Watch out below. Here's your dinner.
They throw it back at you because there's no alcohol in it.
Can't throw sick.
Yeah.
Try. Have you been to Scotland?
Ask for soup today? What kind of soup is this?
Your tramp has a menu.
Different class of tramp in that side of the country.
Exactly.
It's just
That's
like the
what
people that live in the big
people
houses in the west.
I know.
Yeah, they just try and go up in the world so we live in their streets. It's been a bit of a week, hasn't it? Plenty going on, plenty of showcases, plenty of games. Some disappointing, some exciting, some a little bit in the middle, some missing out completely. Thought we could maybe have a little chat around what's going on. Start at Summer Game Fest. That came first, or sorry, Space Game Fest. Because if you like Dead Space, there's plenty for you. If you didn't, there wasn't much, was there?
Yeah, it was interesting, wasn't it? Geoff Keighley was visibly disappointed. And
Yes.
after that tweet, if you were one of the devs or one of the production companies that have produced the game, and he's saying, don't get hyped, and you've like released this baby you've been working on for 3 years, you'd be fucking fuming. So he wasn't happy, Druckmann wasn't happy. Yeah, it was just a very, very awkward show. I think the highlight obviously was the leak that happened a few hours before it, which is The Last of Us Part 1, that it's called, which admittedly looks fantastic. Again, I don't think it was anything people were asking for, but to see that kind of remade in that Part 2 engine will be interesting. But other than that, not really a lot, was there?
No.
Apparently they fixed the AI, haven't they, in The Last of Us Part 1 as well, so there'll be less absolutely ignoring the fact that there's a little girl right there and just walking into a doorway over and over again. Hopefully there'll be less of that.
I hope they keep that in. That's part of
the comedy. That's where the levity comes in to The Last of Us.
Do you reckon they'll
idiots trying to kill him?
Do you reckon they'll skin in Pedro Pascal at some point?
Surely not. But
Do you reckon?
I'd hope not.
That'd be funny. I think it should
probably.
That'd be funny. Yeah.
No, I think we should leave it as a what do we call him? No, well, Joel. Scottish actor. Because I kept thinking through it, and I kept saying Gerard Butler. I was going through it, and
Gerard Butler.
It was Gerard Butler.
Scottish actor?
This guy just looks like Gerard Butler.
Is it Gerard Butler or Gerard Butler?
Gerard. It's definitely Gerard. He's Scottish.
Okay. Gerard.
You're never going to get many Gerards up here.
Gerard!
Yeah.
Gerard. Where's Gerard? He's in the garage.
He's currently having his head shoved down a toilet. Yeah.
Where's Gerard is in the garage being a nunce.
That wasn't the highlight for me.
Yeah. Gerard, do you have any idea?
Gerard, do you want a dab?
No.
Let's not go there.
The highlights for me were obviously, and Alex should probably get to this as well, but the Shredder's Revenge.
Yes.
Which is mad that that's the highlight because we knew about it anyway. But it's more the fact that it's coming out in a few days' time.
The day this podcast comes out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't speak too soon. And also the Cuphead DLC, getting a look at the gameplay there looked good as well. But both things that we know about, and you kind of tune into these things hoping you're going to get some massive surprise. So we had one of them leaked by Sony themselves, and then the two other highlights were things we already knew about.
Yeah.
How was it leaked? Because I never actually saw the original leak. What was the thing?
So it went live on their website.
Posted it, yeah.
Okay, that's clever. Okay.
And the trailer as well.
And did it themselves.
Amazing.
I mean, when we get that whole exciting single shot of factions, like that one JPEG image that they put on and said, "This is factions. We'll tell you more about it later." And you're like, "Why did you bother? You showed us a picture."
I hope Geoff's all right though.
Why?
He annoys me. I hope he isn't. I hope he's having a hard look at himself and then, refraining from hyping people up as much in the future because he does my head in. He's like, tries to be everyone's best friend, but he's so deadpan and boring.
Yeah. So. And there's the worst fashion sense, says me. But I'm quite
well, we can't.
Everybody else's.
We're going to get onto the Xbox showcase soon. If you want to talk about fashion senses, who lets Phil Spencer go on stage dressed like a fucking student?
That's someone going to pick him up.
I think him and Todd did a similar stylist.
Yeah.
Come on, Phil, you've had enough sweets. Oh, Todd was
just because Sarah Bond showed them up though. Anyway.
Yeah, true. Good point. Yeah.
I mean, I've not watched the Summer Games Fest. I don't think I've really watched much of any Geoff Keighley stuff because it's just full of ads. Really, just crowbarred in adverts for product placement and stuff. The Rock was there. Was that
in
one?
fairness, it wasn't as bad.
He's top off, looking all muscular.
It wasn't as bad this time. You had that Rock, but it was absolutely horrendous. Like, he just was there, like, look, drink Zoa. I'm in the gym. Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey, here's the trailer for my film. Play some games.
I said that in the Discord the day before it, and I was just like, I just really don't like the Rock. And I think it was Jason was just like, well, that's a bit of a hot take. I'm like, I think quite a few people feel the same way. It's like, he's not dislikable. He's just fucking annoying again.
Yeah.
Geoff Keighley in the Rock.
It says Gerard Butler.
He does.
I mean, other than that, there wasn't much. I think Callisto Protocol was the one that maybe looked the best, but I don't think one that many of us would play. I think it showed pretty well, but it was a bit too gory.
Street Fighter was weird. That was strange.
Yeah.
That whole presentation tonally just felt all over the shop. That was very weird. I don't know what you guys thought of it.
I'm pretty
Didn't feel like
excited for Street Fighter 6. Everything that we've seen from the Sony one, and then I don't know if we're going to cover the Capcom one as well, but everything that I've seen of that, I'm on board. Yeah. Now is the time to get back into Street Fighter.
Yeah.
When was last time you played
Street
Fighter?
20 years ago.
So, like, in 1991.
Well, I mean, they've released it like 500 times since, so I've played it,
Yeah.
There was a lot of horror,
That's
though.
not the phrase.
It was.
Aliens Dark Descent, Callisto Protocol, Witchfire, Stormgate. No, that was Blizzard's one, wasn't it? And then, what's the other one as well? Blaze of Fears. There's so many. It did feel like, again, then Last of Us as well. Like all those games was just like, oh, here's another kind of horror game. Here's another, oh, this one's tense. Oh, what about the darkness in this one? Oh, your HDR is going to go mad for this game. It was like a little bit over the top for all of them. So,
because it was the one as well that looked like you kept thinking it was Red Faction. Was it Routine? It was called
Routine. Yeah.
Because I think that was one that's basically been in development for years and years and years, and this has almost been like re-announced. But there wasn't a great deal. There seems to be a very mixed reaction to this. When a lot of people I really liked it, but I think if you like that type of game, you're probably going to enjoy the presentation. It lacked the big announcements, but I think that's a kind of fairly common theme over all of these. But if you like that type of game, you're probably quite happy. But it said a lot when we were in the Discord watching it, and we spoke probably more about. Well, I'm saying Ethan and Dan spoke more about Obi-Wan Kenobi than they did about the games, because they went off to another channel just to talk about it rather than watching along.
Is that what happened? I went in Discord and I seen it's like a quest.
They're doing a quest.
I seen you were saying,
we were just boring. There was just a load of shit in there, and then we both seen it. We didn't want to ruin it for Alex, so we went out a little chat for about 10 minutes. Well, I spoke for about 30 seconds, then Ethan took the other 9.5. So it was good.
The only other couple I wanted to mention from there that I liked to look of were American Arcadia, which was the one that looked a little bit like that kind of 70s art style that was almost kind of Truman Show-esque, and you were trying to escape the kind of escape from the world chasing you. I can't remember the studio that's making it. I think it's the same studio that made Call of the Sea. I can't remember their names right now, but I thought that looked really interesting. And what we saw again in Midnight Fight Express, which is coming. Got a release date for August for that. I think it's really good coming to Game Pass too. But I think, as Ben said, when the highlight for most of us was Shredder's Revenge, that kind of says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it's out of the blue of the studio.
Yeah, that's it.
And then it is published by the same people that did Call the Sea, which was Raw Fury.
Yes.
So, yeah. Looks good.
Yeah. So that was Summer Game Fest Live. After that, we had a very, very different presentation from Devolver, which I thought was excellent, because Devolver know how to put a show on. Maybe the content wasn't quite as excellent as the actual show, but it was just good to watch. Did anybody else catch it?
Yeah, I was the other way around. I was like, the show did my head in, but the content was fantastic.
See, I enjoyed it.
Did you say that last year as well? I can't remember who it was. I know there are a few people who the Devolver presentations just annoy people. Yeah. I always quite enjoyed them. Again, this is another one that I've just not seen. But I heard that after the presentation, the Devolver share price plummeted for some reason.
I'm surprised at that.
I don't think the sort of people that dictate share prices are idiots. So they will think, if something's called Countdown to Marketing, that's crazy. Yeah. Why would they call it that? Oh, sell. I think that's
maybe.
Because
maybe.
they're too clever for their own good.
it could be industry people as well going, if they're in their eyes, it isn't as large a showing as previous years. Which, to be fair, they only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games on show. If they're thinking like fiscally this year, it's not really worth it, then maybe that's the reason for selling. Or, like you said, it could just be a lot of people that don't know the industry very well. But the games were fantastic. I thought, other than there were 2 that were a bit on the fence with Angerfoot, didn't look particularly my thing, and just Skate Story as well. But everything else was amazing. Cult of the Lamb looks fantastic. Really good game. And that's out August, is it?
Yeah, August 11th. Yeah, really looking forward to that. I think that's got potential for Indie of the Year, I would imagine. It certainly get that feel about it. Whether it lives up to that expectation, I'm not sure, but I think everything we've seen of that game so far really sets high hopes and high expectations. So hopefully it lives up.
I downloaded Card Shark as well.
Just on that share class thing.
Go on. No,
on you go if you would.
I took a sip of my drink then.
It was in gamesindustry.biz. I don't know if there's like a delay on this. Gamesindustry.biz. This is Devolver stock price plummets after lowering sales expectations, and it went down. Guess how much percent it went down?
16%.
Shares.
Yeah.
16. Someone else.
27.
6. Alex.
Ooh, what? That is
47.
Wow.
Nearly half.
Yeah,
that's worth a buy. That's a
plummet.
Still low.
I suppose they're quite recently. They're recently listed though, aren't they? So it's probably quite volatile still at this stage. And the markets are so volatile just now anyway. But that's been a different podcast.
Don't get me started.
I'm getting on Resolute later. I'm buying some stock in Devolver. Fuck it, let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's a cool company. It'd be nice to have.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was just saying then, so I've downloaded Card Shark as well, because Joe Scrabbles was talking about that on the IGN UK podcast, and then watching it on the show kind of like piqued my interest even more, so that looks cool.
Have you downloaded the demo, or the whole thing?
The whole thing, yeah. The whole thing.
Straight.
I will let you know. I will keep you in the loop.
Yeah, I think Mark Cameron's just started that.
Yeah.
Mark, if you're listening, you started this 2 years ago. But
before you died.
What? Rest in peace, Mark Cameron.
I know.
I accidentally killed Mark off in the Xbox podcast this week. He was in his grave.
It's canon now.
Then remember, he wasn't actually dead.
So I didn't watch the Devolver presentation, which is weird because I like to think of myself as a Devolver.
You are that kind of
guy.
You're the guy.
But yeah, just I don't know if it was timing wise or whatever. But the go on.
The Devolver guy, like I said earlier, some people just find you annoying, other people love you.
That's why they call me the Devolver guy. The Plucky Squire is what they call me.
That looks excellent.
That looks really good.
That looks like Game of the Year.
That does look good.
Magical.
Huge. Fantastic idea, that.
It really reminded me to a certain extent. I mean, I know some of you guys said about the Zelda bits and... Was it Zelda bits or the 2D Mario bits and Mario 3D Mario Odyssey? I don't know if any of you guys have played Lost Words Beyond the Page. It's like a kind of story adventure where there's bits of it you're playing through a journal. It's written by Terry Pratchett's daughter. The story, and it's a really good game, but it gave me that kind of vibe in terms of the way it was playing through the storybook. But that's a more somber affair, I would say, where this looks quite bright and happy, and the kind of colours hit you. But I mean, this does look excellent.
Starting to enjoy seeing indie games that are coming out on all platforms, because that to me, I know there's a few things that will buck the trend, but that to me says that developers are exceptionally confident in what they're building and thinking that they can put it on all platforms without any sort of exclusivity at once is probably a really, really good sign. So, yeah, if that comes out on everything at once, that'll do really well, especially if it's half as good as it looked in the demo.
Yeah. And I was probably a lot warmer in Skate Story than you were, Dan. I really liked the look of Skate Story. I liked the art style of it. Just thought it looked quite cool. Maybe just
reminds me of Super Hot a little bit, and that kind of art style to it.
I get that vibe from me.
I wasn't really keen on it. It was fun to play, but just like aesthetically not very pleasing to me. But that's me.
So that was Devolver. Next up, Xbox and Bethesda. So, I'm going to think this was the start of the show. Kind of was the start of the show in terms of the content. I thought they've got a lot right. I know we've probably got some different views between us and kind of what our highlights were, what we liked, whether they thought they did a good job. I think for me, the best thing they did was set the expectation up front. So when the beautiful Sarah Bond came out and told us that we're set up for what we're getting for the next 12 months, I think you immediately knew what you were getting and what you weren't getting. I think that was a very good way to start it, set those expectations. So you're not sitting there going, maybe we'll still see Fable, because you're never going to see Fable. But yeah, I thought they did a very good job. What about you guys?
I agree. I think that was a really crucial part of it, to go right from the jump. This is focused purely on games releasing in the next 12 months. I think they were wise to be a bit gun-shy with the actual release dates, given what's happened in the last month or so. So, I understand that. But, yeah, I think they've really come a long way, because there's been a few E3s where Xbox's showcases have been a bit ramshackle and a bit, too much sort of CGI and not much gameplay. This was lots and lots of gameplay, all games that you're going to be getting your hands on in the next 12 months. Most of them on Game Pass, something for everyone. My overall take of it was, they've really stepped it up, and I think that's the best showcase we've seen during this season. Yeah,
I agree. I think it probably stand up to most of the Xbox showcase over the last couple of years as well, in terms of the amount of games shown, and then just the quality of the content of each of them. But yeah, everything from Kojima just coming out and being like, "Oh, hello everyone, I'm making a game," Oh, really? That's what you've been doing? Through to Persona, which I think it's going to come out on Switch now. I'm convinced, that there's going to be that the next Direct at the end of the month, if there is one, that's going to be on there.
I might have a little bet on that with you.
Go on, what you betting?
I don't think it will. Still,
I've got a feeling
I bet you the Final Fantasy 12 that it's going to be on Switch. If you're not, I've got to buy you another copy.
Send it back.
Should do that.
So it's lose for me.
Yeah.
Did 4 Golden or 3 Golden or whatever one it is not just release on Switch? There's one that's just come out.
Wasn't it some sort of arena one, like one of the fighting ones or something, rather than the actual
Strikers
game?
on there, but
it was
was it?
Of 4.
It was like something for Arena Ultimate, something. It was one of the weirder ones, I think. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, so my theory...
I think it's coming.
My theory is that Xbox have been talking to Atlas, talking to as many Japanese publishers as they can to try and get more Japanese games included on Game Pass. They've moved Hell on Earth to get it onto Game Pass, and Heaven! They've moved Helen.
Please.
They've moved don't got me stiff. And
come on, Helen.
And yeah, I just don't think Nintendo have been part of that conversation. I think Xbox have thrown a ton of money at them.
It's weird.
And that's my theory anyway. But we'll see.
It's strange that the Persona 5 has come off the PS Plus collection and is now going on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So if you downloaded it before, whenever in May, it's fine. But anyone new coming onto it, you couldn't get it. So that's an interesting little dynamic thing there. That it's gone off one platform and it's now on the other.
I'd love to know the exclusivity what they work and what the time is before people can start offering them to other platforms. It'd be really interesting to know that immediately. But it's obviously come to the point of the past, Ben, like you said, if Microsoft had been the highest bidder for it, and everyone on Switch has been saying for years, even on those fucking surveys that are filled out every single time, saying that I want it to come to Switch, but obviously not enough people have wanted it, and Big Phil's dipped into his pocket.
That could be Atlas going to Nintendo and going, look, everyone wants it on the Switch, but then Nintendo go, okay, but we're bringing out Xenoblade Chronicles 3, we're bringing out Live Alive.
Yeah.
We're publishing a lot of competing games that we want to sell well. Yeah. We know they'll get absolutely cannibalized by a Persona game coming out. So you're all right. Well, maybe another time.
I wonder if a percentage of the profit as well.
Speaking of that,
Go on, Lou.
Because I was speaking to Atlas going like, yeah. We know that everyone's wanting a Persona 5 on Switch, but let's speak Shin Megami Tensei. What can we do there? That's the discussions that are going on between Nintendo and Atlas.
Yeah.
We want that, but shit.
People want this, yeah, but what about this other thing?
I mean, it is incredibly weird how they pick and choose what they put where. Like, so... Like, you get Shin Megami Tensei there, you had Persona there, now they're pulling that over there, but after they've said the Persona games that are coming to Xbox, they've now said that 3 Arena and 4 Golden are coming to PS4 and PS5. But they haven't announced Switch at that point, so does that mean the Switch announcement's coming later, or does it just mean we're just doing it
I think so.
PS5 and Xbox?
I can't imagine that they go to Xbox and PlayStation, and it probably contradicts what I was just saying about exclusivity there, but if they're being put onto the Sony platforms now, they're probably just volume play, aren't they? You know, they just want to get them in as many hands as possible and make as much money as possible, so it would make sense for it to come to the Switch. So yeah, I'll take your bet, Ben. I'll let you decide on whether it's Final Fantasy 12 or the cash equivalent of whatever it is on Amazon at the moment.
So if it's not mentioned in the next Nintendo Direct, I will send Final Fantasy 12 back to you.
Yeah.
If it
Well, hold on, then. I've got 2 copies of it on Switch, then, so I just want to cash them out. Hold on, let me find out.
I'm not giving you anything.
No, cash. You want to bet. You
It's
talk amongst yourselves, I'm fine.
£19.65. No, maybe you should make it more interesting, and it's a bet over Mark Hammond's target price for Final Fantasy 12.
It's £26.32 on Amazon at the moment, so...
What's the trading price on CEX?
Probably more.
We'll go off that. That'll be the basis.
That's Max, he'll tell you.
4 fruit pastels. What's the highlights, Alex? What was your highlight?
My highlight, I was on the side of I really liked what I saw of Starfield. I know others were on the other side of that, but I really liked that. My highlight was Forza Motorsport, though, which probably doesn't surprise you guys, but when we were watching that, you were like, I was in absolute awe of what they were showing. Like, the level of detail in that game from the ground up just looks incredible, and I can't wait to get my hands on that. I just thought it was better than I expected it to be. I think I expected it to be good, but I think they've just taken it to like next level, that level of detail. Obviously, it's your sim side of the sport, the racing game, so it's not going to appeal to everyone. It's not going to have that mass appeal, but they bloody sold it. I mean, I think that's credit to them, like how they presented the fuck out of that game. Even the people who don't like
fuck out of that game.
Yes. Even I made those people who weren't necessarily sim, you had to sit there and appreciate it. Well, I certainly thought you did. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm a little bit biased too. But that was my highlight.
Not at all.
No, not.
I think when we were watching it together, and like that genuine joy of getting something that you wanted, like that's lovely, regardless of whether or not it's a motorsport game or, as we'll probably talk about in a second, Hollow Knight. You know, it's that kind of feeling from someone where it's just completely unbridled, and I could hear it. You're like voice shaking a little bit, and you're talking about it really. So, again, I was getting quite animated, and you were like, I could cry. And I was like, oh, that's really nice. And it's about fucking cars. It's a bit weird, but like, yeah, it's cool. It's still cool.
I don't even like cars. I was having that conversation with Elena, wasn't I?
I know. Yeah. I know. Come on, Lewis. Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Yeah, I mean, it's finally confirmation that it does exist and it wasn't a shared fever dream that we're all having. Nice to see some new areas. Watching a video an hour or so before we started tonight. Mossbag, that's the guy's name. Just sort of breaking down the trailer and the new like, items and HUD differences between what we'd seen before and now, and yeah, really looking forward to it. Obviously no date given on that one, but I think that's going to come in a direct. I think Nintendo will get the drop on that. So keen to hear it, and it was as soon as I sat here. I was on the ladders. I was sat up on the ladders, peering down at the television, and then the sort of the white lines came across the screen. And I was like, "This is it! This is it! It's time!" So yeah, chuffed, happy that it's finally resurfaced after 3.5 years.
It is nice.
I found it interesting though that it wasn't on that graphic they released after the show or at the end of the show. So they released a graphic of all the games you play over the next 12 months, and that wasn't on it, which I found incredibly weird when everything else they showed was. Whether that's because they don't have a release date, they must know it's coming in 12 months, but maybe they're not even allowed to say that on in any sort of graphic if they have got it. Maybe Nintendo have got a deal to reveal the release date or exclusivity or something like console launch exclusivity. But
my understanding was that there was a console exclusivity for the Switch for an initial period is what I always thought. I'm sure I read it somewhere, like Switch and PC or something when it's first released, and then it'll come to the other platforms after. This was ages ago though, so fuck knows if that was actually the case. I can't really remember. I think that's what they've said. But
Microsoft.
Give me a Switch physical.
Money at it.
Give me some full left loads of tat. Give me that.
So I think we saw possibly the next Elden Ring game, that we're all going to have a little WhatsApp group over and fawn over, and I think that's Diablo 4. I absolutely adored 3. I put 40 hours into it over the space of 4 days. It was ridiculous. I just couldn't put it down. It was when we were a house decorated a couple of years ago. And the prospect of that with an extended kind of multiplayer to it, and then a lot more... What are you giggling at?
I'm laughing at it because you said the amount of hours you were doing. 40 hours over 3 days in payment. As if to just
well, there's more than 24 hours in a day.
Over
3 days. I said over 3 days. I'm talking about math. God's sake. But yeah, I think that's going to be phenomenal, and it looks stunning as well. I'm just really, really excited to jump into it. I played Diablo 3 wrong, where I accidentally jumped into I jumped past the story missions and went straight into the multiplayer, and was playing the story in a really weird way. And I was like, all right, it's a bit strange, but the gameplay's good, so I'm going to keep on playing it. So yeah, I'll be a bit more attentive, I think, and play this properly. But Ben, you felt the same about it, didn't you?
Yeah, you just reminded me though. I think I played Diablo 3 completely wrong as well. I've never played a Diablo game before, and I had no idea there was even a story mode. I was just go through, do these rifts, yeah. And in fact, I was such a noob. I was tapping the button over and over again. And you can just hold down the button to attack.
No. I was
just tapping the button repeatedly.
Get a pure light.
And then when I figured it out, I was just hold the button down and it will keep going. I thought this looked amazing. I know we'll probably get cancelled for saying that, but I think, I've got very excited. That whole trailer for Necromancer was extremely well done. And
very Blizzard, yeah.
Yeah, and I think even though obviously Diablo Immortal's coming in for some flack, rightly so for being a bit predatory with its microtransactions and stuff. I don't even know if you can call them microtransactions. If you can spend £100,000 to get kitted out in all the gear, apparently that's how much it would cost. Really. But yeah, I'm very, very on board with Diablo 4. Looks very cool. Big time.
Wasn't announced as a Game Pass Day 1 game, but I wonder in terms of the Blizzard and the Activision stuff whether that's more, they can't do a deal for that at the minute with the acquisition and stuff, so it's very much we expect acquisition to be completed before this launches, and then it will just go into Game Pass, but they can't really say it just now, but you'd hope so.
I think there's probably commitments made on that because it's been in the process for a long time. So there's probably been a lot of conversations, and hence why it's on PlayStation, PC, and Xbox day one.
Yeah.
So
I think it is console exclusive. No, I think it's a timed console exclusive to Xbox. They announced that they didn't say Game Pass day one. I think it was first on console.
Ooh.
But yeah, I think a few other highlights for me were. I'll try As Dusk Falls. I really like to look off. So that's kind of made by a team of ex-Quantic Dream devs, and that was the one where it was kind of that odd art style. I know the art style was very hit and miss for some people because it was very jarring in terms of the kind of interactive visual novel type thing. What I found incredibly interesting was that it was 8-player multiplayer. How you play a game like that with 8 players. I have no idea, but I really want to try. So I'm really looking forward to that. And again, that's next month, so something to look forward to quite soon. And there was quite a lot coming quite quickly, and I think the way this seems to space out over the next 12 months, you're not going to get bored. You're never going to get bored, which is good.
Redfall
always
looks phenomenal.
Good games to play.
What about it?
Yes.
Go on, Lou.
You were all over.
I honestly think there's a big delay from me speaking, so apologies if I'm cutting over the topic. All I said was want a bet for saying you won't get bored.
Then I'll take that bet. Another couple of Final Fantasy 12.
I'll send you Final Fantasy.
Yeah, no, you
Redfall,
won't.
then. Go on.
I was going to say, so Redfall looks super interesting, and seeing more of it, it was more of a different game than what I expected, which is a good thing. And I think just like there's elements of almost like humor to it, which I'm really appreciative of, and it kind of lightened the mood of that game a little bit compared to that first tone piece that we'd seen. So yeah, that looks absolutely banging. So I'm excited for that as well.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and sorry, on you go.
No.
I was going to say, and I like the fact that they opened it up with a single player part, because I would always, you get this whole, it's a team shooter, but they said, but you can play it as one, and they showed it as a kind of single player campaign, and I think that was a really intelligent thing to do, because people are immediately put off, like, oh, it's a 4-person. There's so many of them recently, with Back 4 Blood, and Alien Fire Team, and what was the Ubisoft one? The Rainbow Six Extraction?
Yeah.
Was it Evil Dead like that as well?
I think it's
Evil
meant to be,
Dead.
That's it, yeah. It's just interesting. I mean, just keep letting Arcane do these games for like the next 30 years until we're all dead, and they'll just refine it and refine it and refine it and just put it into different settings, and it'll always be interesting. It'll always be well written. It'll always be this kind of sandboxy environment as well, where you can, do these weird, wacky things in like a controlled area. Just like really, really fun. I need to go back and play Deathloop and finish that. Very excited.
Yeah, I need to give that a go, because I played a little bit of Dishonored Game Club, and I don't know, I found it a bit dull, to be honest. But maybe I'm not far enough into it to find.
Not aged well, I don't think.
But yeah, Redfall, all in for that. And I think, Dan, you mentioned the humour. You reminded me of High on Life.
High on Life, yeah.
That was one of the standouts for me. With had the sort of Rick and Morty. Was it the same?
Yeah, same voice actors. Yeah, and the writers as well. Yeah,
and it just looked funny. It's just like it's a nice take on a first-person shooter. Like organic gun is talking back to you.
But they're all like, it's all right, it's my kids, I can make more of them. And it was just like, worried about us getting cancelled.
I was quite impressed with that.
Can we talk about Starfield a little bit? Because I know you kind of said before you're on the side of, I'm not going to be overly negative or try and coin favour with the people that I thought it was awful. I think it will be a great game. Like, it is Fallout in space. I did say in the WhatsApp group, it's got all the negatives of Fallout, where you just get that kind of like... Hi, how are you doing? And that without the context of like the character of the factions and stuff just made it feel a little bit bland to me. And I do think they've ripped a lot of stuff off from No Man's Sky, but ironically, I think they're going to fall down the same trope that No Man's Sky did as well, where Hello Games, basically said... Was that Hello Games?
Yeah.
Hello Games, yeah. Where they basically turned around and promised and, completely under-delivered, and then had to make a game then for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 years, make better and better and better. I think the same with Starfield. They've said there's however many thousand planets, and what's the quality of those planets going to be? What's the quality and the caliber of the story around that game going to be? And then in terms of that replayability, without additional things going into that game, and almost like a roadmap to show these are things that you're going to get over the amount of time once it launches, just makes me worry for it a little bit. So, yeah, as much as what we were shown looked good and some polish to it, I still don't think it's the caliber that I was expecting, and think that's why quite a lot of people on the internet felt a little bit down about it. So,
no, I can completely understand where you're coming from with that. I mean, I think for me, the biggest concern is, are they biting off more than they can chew? And I think the answer to that is probably yes. But you just need to hope that they deliver enough of the individual elements to make them all good, rather than it would be probably the worst place you could end up is you've got like 3 excellent elements of the game and you've got 2 that are absolutely horrendous that spoils the rest of it. If they're all good and it works and the whole thing comes together, then you could probably accept good for the bigger picture. But you just wonder, like, why kind of along the way have they not said, right, we don't need to do that, but we don't need the space combat, or we don't need the thousands and thousands of planets if they're going to have like maybe like this solar system's essentially going to be the same as this other system over here, and they're just going to be very slightly different. Do you really need that volume of it, or are we just showing off here? But showing off that's just going to shoot yourself in the foot. I don't know, but I really liked what you saw. I liked the environments when you saw some of the more kind of like this kind of citadel type things, and the more populated.
Which is where I think it'll excel. I think that's where, like, again, Fallout and the way that they curate the worlds, like the environmental storytelling in a Fallout game, whether it was 4 New Vegas, I don't know about 76. I didn't play it for that long because it pissed me off, but 3 New Vegas and 4, the way the world kind of told the story when you were going through it was the whole fun of that game, but the humour within those games as well was fantastic. Whereas again, like I said, this one just felt like it didn't have anything to grip me and say, oh, this is what you're going to be playing and why you're going to be playing it for this amount of time. I would have preferred them to have shown that in almost like a story trailer now, rather than okay, you can visit the planets, you can mine for ore, you can, get involved with factions, whatever it might be. Like, that's just a flip in it, I would say. But yeah, like it's a big risk. It's a huge risk for Microsoft, and I think they'll probably consider bumping that down the schedule a little bit over the next couple of months to see how it pans out. But yeah, we'll see.
Obviously great to see it, and there was that bit of concern at the end when Todd Howard looked like he was thinking about giving another release date, and you're like, don't do it. Don't do it. Stop.
Yeah, don't do it.
But it's nice to see him get out there and present his game like the way he used to do, because you kind of thought those days were kind of over, but to get that amount of time to show off the game was good. Probably still wasn't enough time, and I think that's probably you can't say they didn't utilise the time well enough, but I don't think for the amount that they showed and the amount we're going to get a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of the next thing, they probably didn't show enough of any of it. So that maybe if they depict more aspects and say these are what we're showing you just now, but we have a whole array more to come, and we'll show you at X and X a date or in so many months, it might have panned out a wee bit better.
Yeah, I just want games companies to do a show like a timeline, and not do it in order of like the big release or the things that are going to on one more thing.
Yeah,
like I want them to do like a timeline just to make it as easy as possible, like when you're going to get these releases and which ones we haven't decided when you're going to get them. But that's me being a anal arsehole.
Any other games from Xbox that anyone wants to call out before we move on?
Nope. I just want to say, I think this is the second year in a row where I have found the Bethesda stuff really boring. I just got no interest in their games whatsoever. I've never played any of them, so I'm basing that purely on the fact that they're all first-person RPGs. It's just so, I find it so boring, and I feel like I'm the only person in the world who thinks that.
I agree with you completely.
Like, what? I just don't get it. Like, what are you excited about? Like, Starfield. Oh, yeah, massive world, but what are you doing?
Yeah.
In the world? I'm like, I don't want to. I want to craft. I'll play Minecraft. Yeah, I mean, like.
Well, I was going to say Minecraft. It didn't.
Yeah, it didn't sell it to me. But yeah, I mean, obviously, a lot of people are excited about it. But yeah, I mean,
what are they though?
We've got Starlink, Battle for Atlas. Let's just play that.
Yeah, the Starlink Battle for Atlas.
Spaceship.
No, definitely not. Never again. That disc is never going back in my Xbox.
Like, the opportunity to genuinely go and play No Man's Sky, it made me enthused to go, you know what, that's a fucking great game. And considering what they've got out of it, and they've been exceptionally quiet to their credit on social media as well. So they haven't come out and dissed it in any way or made any sly comments or digs. It seems to be very quiet. So, yeah, let's see how it pans out.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to touch on, not so much, I didn't catch the extended showcase tonight. I did catch the end of it, and what they did show was a developer diary for GSC game. Now I'm going to forget the name. Game Studio. So the developers of Stalker 2. So they brought out a dead diary to kind of show the conditions they're in, to show the state of Ukraine, but they wanted to share their story, share where they were at, and they gave a new trailer of the game. So it was very humbling to watch. Kind of puts everything else in a bit of perspective, saying, we've had delays, this game like this, that game like that, but it's bigger picture here. And I think it was good of them to take that time to appreciate the work that those guys are still putting in out there, while some of them are volunteering in the military, some of them are volunteering just to help clean up their cities. Some of them don't know if their families are alive, so it's, as I say, humbling.
Does put it in perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, get a game delayed, you're like, oh, rubbish.
I know, yeah.
But these are real people in very, very real circumstances.
Do you reckon like Phil Spencer sat in like the boardroom going, all right, game delays, let's go. Why is Starfield delayed? Okay, the devs weren't on time. That's not good enough. Stalker 2, why is that delayed? All right, okay, yeah, fair enough. There's a war.
No questions.
That's all right.
Yeah,
I know. Sad.
So, lastly, for what we're going to cover tonight, anyway, there was a Capcom showcase last night. I myself didn't catch it, but I kind of got a gist of what they showed. So, a bit more Monster Hunter Sunbreak, a bit more Resident Evil 4 remake, a bit more Resident Evil Village DLC. Sorry, announced the DLC. This was them just announcing it, wasn't it? Along with the new third-person mode within Village.
Yep.
And also finally a release date for Reverse, that kind of multiplayer game that they announced what was supposed to come out at the same time as Village, or was it even supposed to come out before Village, that it's been delayed. So that's finally coming in October, along with the next gen updates for 2 Remake, 3 Remake and 7. So quite a lot in there,
and they're free as well. The next gen upgrades, there's none of this pay another 70 quid nonsense or pay £10 to upgrade. They're all free, and I think they're out now as well.
Yeah, they're available now.
Yeah,
so Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3 remake, and Resident Evil 7 free next gen upgrades are available now.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty short, concise showcase, but I stayed up and watched it last night, and I was pretty impressed. Even Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak DLC looked decent. It made me think, oh, maybe I should give that another go. But then I remembered, oh no, I need to learn it for 30 hours.
Yeah.
But
Give me a
the Resident
tutorial.
Evil stuff, the Resident Evil stuff does look cool though. Like, as soon as they showed it Village in third person, I was like, right, now we're talking. Like, there is something about, I don't know why, but first person stuff just I don't gel with as much. But yeah, as soon as you can see the character you're controlling, I'm well up for that. And 4 looks cracking as well. So yeah, I thought they ended pretty strong with all the Resident Evil stuff.
Yeah,
probably say not on the Capcoms.
That's good about the two.
Go on, mate.
No, guys, it's good on for 2 and 3 if they get a next gen upgrade. They're often bundled on the PS store for 20 quid for the 2 of them. So that's good. If you get free upgrades,
it's really good, really good. What I was going to say, so whilst I've not really got anything to say about the Capcom showcase, like, it hasn't been great the way that all of these kind of showcases have occurred without E3 in the middle of it all. That's the one thing I didn't think I'd miss. I actually thought I'd prefer it this way, where we just kind of get drops of different showcases in June. But I think the way that E3 works and the way it kind of galvanizes a lot of the different sessions, and when things are coming, it's very well publicized. I did actually feel like I missed that. Which to be brutally honest, I didn't think I'd do. So yeah, bring back E3.
Because you always knew, like, we've got Xboxes starting off in the morning, and then we've got Sony at night, and then we've got Nintendo tomorrow, and then you've got Ubisoft, and you've got...
Yeah.
And I think you've got your notable absences. I mean, we still don't know where Nintendo's coming from. We've seen nothing from Ubisoft, though they did have a little Assassin's Creed anniversary event earlier tonight. I think they announced that the future of Assassin's Creed would be shown in September, and some DLC for the next year of... free updates for the next year of Valhalla, so some new modes coming to that. But I mean, there's quite big absences. EA as well, so nothing at EA at all, even at any of the showcases. So there was no EA games anywhere from my memory. So there's nothing at the Game Fest at all, nothing with an Xbox, nothing at Sony State of Play. So they've been completely absent. Ubisoft, I don't think there's really been any Ubisoft either, has there?
No, not really. Not especially. But so again... it's nothing there really pulling people together, is there? No.
So you definitely, I get your point. You do feel like you've missed something this time. It's just lacked that fluidity and the excitement. You've not had the same buzz. You've not been buzzing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just disjointed, isn't it? And look, that's the reason I missed the Devolver one. It's just like, unless you're keeping your own calendar of this stuff, you want to, and you get a reminder 15 minutes before. It's very easy to miss. And I only watched the Capcom one just because it happened to be on around about the time I went to bed. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch that in bed. But it's maybe that's what Geoff could do better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
next year, try and do it big. Try and organise it.
Do it big, Geoff.
Do a big Geoff.
Then E3 have said they're coming back next year, so who knows? It's going to be a big
said that last year.
Yeah, well,
depends
that is true.
Who wants to go back. Like, if again the same involvement, same engagement from the fans, like, why would they bother? You know, there's no point. Is then Sony aren't going to go back to them anytime soon. So, yeah, we'll see. Come on, Geoff.
Summer Games Fest's going. It's having an actual show, like a physical in-person event next year as well. So E3 and Summer Games Fest are going head to head.
Decent.
Yeah, I think they did something this year, didn't they? There was a physical element to Summer Games Fest, I think. Yeah, where you could play demos. I think people played like Sonic Frontiers and different games that were on the show. So,
should we go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it means playing Sonic Frontiers, definitely not. No, I'm good.
Not this year. Yeah.
I read something earlier. I can't remember where I read it. But it said I played Sonic Frontiers and it was even worse than you might think. So you're very much like that. That game is doomed before it's got out.
Was that the CEO of Sega?
Probably. Yeah. So I think that's the games we've been watching. Should we move on to the games we've been playing? Pick up and play.
Aye.
Ben, come to you first. What have you been playing? What have you completed this week?
I don't know. What have I completed this week? I don't know. I wasn't prepared for that. I think Gears of War 3. No, 2. I finished that.
No, 1.
And what else? Ollie World. I finished that as well. All in one sitting. And Lewis was very disappointed with me.
I disagree. I disagree with that approach, Ben. You've missed so much. You just went. There's different paths in the levels you can try and go. Like, you'll loop round at each other. You've just sat down, bashed through it to finish it, just so you can put it on Twitter. I am not.
I golden pathed it. I wasn't interested in the story, so I was just pressing A to get through all of the nonsense that they were saying to each other. But it's a great game, very well presented, and maybe one day I'll get the urge to go back and try and improve on some of those times, because I did have a couple of looks at the leaderboards, and your scores were like 100 times better than mine, like literally. So yeah, maybe I'll go back to that if I get the urge. But yeah, it's a cool game.
I was playing it with I need to get my scores on board because Ben will be coming through soon.
I don't care about that sort of stuff.
Wait hours.
But they have to have
the story through to completion.
But I mean, they've also made that one much easier by implementing the checkpoints, though, because it's not like the earlier games where you had to get from start to finish. You very much just need to do each section.
I got about halfway through the game before realising didn't have to hold down X. Because at the bottom where it says to restart or checkpoint or something, it says hold X in brackets. So I was holding X and then starting
go back to the start.
And I was like, it's not a checkpoint, it just put me back to the start. Yeah. So I got about halfway through it and then realised, if you just tap X, then you'll go back to the checkpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but anyway, cool game.
So it took me 20 minutes to realize that.
It took me 4 hours to finish that game. It says 6 hours on how long to beat, so that's how efficient I was.
Pro gamer.
There's 2 hours of saved because of pushing the button past the story. I want to complete the story.
Same as any other video game story, isn't it? Rubbish. Yeah, so I think that's what I finished. I can't remember anything else. Dungeons of Dreadrock, finished that. That's a really good one. If that goes on sale, I would say check that out.
I definitely feel like you're chasing up in my completion list. I'm like, I need to up my game. You're like, you're going to catch me.
I'm not though, Alex. The thing is, I'm only playing like good games. I don't think I can compete with you because you play any old shit.
Harsh
but fair.
But very true.
Slightly fair.
Yeah. So, what in terms of what I have played recently, I started Pokemon Legends Arceus.
You said you were playing good games.
Yeah.
Eh?
You said you were playing good games.
It is a good game, actually. I was quite impressed. I was much more enamoured with the start of it than I was Sword and Shield. It seems like much stronger in terms of the actual gameplay, and doesn't treat you like quite so much of an idiot. I don't think quite like that. That it's be careful out there or you might die. I'm like, oh, okay. Good. I can't imagine you get that in a Pokemon game very often. So that's quite cool. And there's like stealth elements. You have to like creep through the bushes and chuck your balls at these little monsters. It's just describing Pokemon to everyone. But yeah, I was quite impressed with that. But then I thought, so I started it on the OLED, and I thought actually this is more of a Switch Lite game. So I thought, right, I'll just put the card in the Switch Lite, do the cloud save, pick it up on the Switch Lite. But it doesn't allow cloud saves.
No.
And that really annoyed me, and I haven't played it since. I want to play it on my Switch Lite.
I want it on the Lite.
Yeah, and it's not possible. So.
Love, I'm limited to the OLED. What? Just terrible.
What is that?
I don't think you can. I don't think any Pokemon games support cloud saves because you can cheat. I guess you can get all the different types and trade, and I don't know. I don't understand that. Sure. But what I have also been playing, if you thought Pokemon was strange for me to be playing, I've also been playing a mobile game.
Oh, wow.
On a mobile device. I've been playing via Netflix games.
Mobile.
I've been playing Poinpy. Have you guys heard of this one?
Nope.
No.
It is, so it's on Netflix games. It's from the same developer as Downwell. You ever played that? Very cool game from a few years ago. So basically, where Downwell was, you're going down a well. Poinpy is the complete opposite. You're going up. So you're like bouncing off enemies, trying to collect fruits as you go up. And it's very hard to describe and make it sound good. But it is really good and really addictive. And it's so well...
Is that... Sorry, Ben. Apologies, is that his full name?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, just... I thought I read something different in the show notes.
Ignore the show notes.
Never trust the show notes.
Never trust. I've just read them. Damn it. So it's really good. So like where Downwell was like monochrome with a little tiny splash of colour, this is really bright, really fun. And it's a phenomenal game, and I feel quite. I think it might be published by Devolver, so it might end up coming to Switch, but it's really good. And I'm completely addicted to it. And you're all clearly reading the show notes and sniggering to yourselves while I'm trying to describe this game.
Poinpy.
Poinpy. That's Poinpy. If you are a Netflix subscriber and you have a telephone, then please give it a go.
Doing it right now.
I think you'll get addicted to it, though.
Yeah, well, okay. Do you want me to play it or not?
I think you should. One thing that's really good about it is like the progression. The more you play, the more stuff you unlock that will help you get better at it. So to start with, I think you only get like one jump, and then you can kind of unlock more and more. So like now I can jump 10 times, and I've got loads of power ups and buffs and things. It's really, really good. Yeah,
Dan playing it now?
Is playing it right now. That's a very very different looking version of it to the one I've got. Or maybe it's a tutorial and I don't remember it.
Check out the video podcast. You'll get a live demo of Point P.
Probably skip.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a mobile game, and it's really good. There you go. You heard it here first.
Okay.
Thank you, Ben.
That's me.
Any pickups?
Oh, well, Ollie Ollie World. I got that Switch, such as it was, and Lego Builder's Journey. I got that because that was also on sale, and it's been on my watch list for a long time. But that's about it. And Mario Strikers, but someone else too.
Okay. Since you've mentioned Mario Strikers and the fact that I didn't play any good games, then I'll go next. I have been playing a little bit of Mario Strikers. Not very much. I've only played the tutorial. It's good. I enjoyed it. Just didn't actually find anyone to play it with. But
Didn't
I
text
liked
me
what I
though, did you?
played.
Coward.
Sorry. Maybe next time. No, I just went to sleep instead. The main thing I've been playing I haven't played a lot because I've spent more time watching things, but I played the Breaking Point story mode of F1 2021 on Game Pass because I thought I liked the idea of it when it came out last year. Downloaded it and played through that, but I was a little bit disappointed, probably the best word. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I thought the one that they've done for Grid Legends is much better, but I suppose that came after they've refined it, kind of made it better. But even like when you compare it to it was essentially their version of the Journey from like FIFA. I say FIFA did it better. There's not very many things you would say FIFA do better, but so I was a wee bit disappointed there. But I have been this is probably the least amount of games I've played in a week in a long, long time, which is unlike me. So I need to up my game, so to speak.
So you've spoken about Mario.
I
was going to say you've spoken about Mario Striker, so I'll throw my thoughts in there as well. This is the only thing I played this week. I really enjoy it. I love the original. Really fond memories of it. It is a stupidly simple game. There's no real complexity to it. It is all about timing, whether or not you're dodging out the way of a tackle to get a little boost, or whether or not you're able to hit a shot, with a certain power. That you're able to pretty much get most of your set team upgraded within a tournament or two. So, let's say 2 hours maximum. It took me, if that. But again, just really, really fun, really straightforward. I haven't played it online yet, similar to yourself, Alex. So I'll reserve full judgment until I've been able to play it online, and then I'll write a 300-word review and pop it on the site.
We should arrange some online games. I think that's where it's going to come into its own, because I can imagine it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun just running after certain people and tackling them rather than chasing the ball.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Mario Strikers. Mario Strikers. There we go.
Sounds like a plan. So that's all you've been playing? No pickups either?
No, nothing. Nah. Trying to find a few bits, but yeah, like I said, limited to the house. So
fair enough. Lewis, what about you?
Hi. I've got no pickups other than, I put this in the if I can laugh at it.
No, but really.
Yeah, I've already built it. It's actually up there, I could get it. But I bought a Lego. This is Star Wars.
Oh,
look, this is Luke Skywalker's
space helmet.
Nice helmet.
His helmet, yeah.
2 helmets in that room.
Yeah. So nothing else. No other pickups really. But I have been playing Sekiro. In fact, it's a lie. I bought Sekiro got a little trip over to Argentina with my work, and bought Sekiro whilst I was there. It's like some region-free thing. So I started playing Sekiro through the week, and it is very good. A lot different to any other Souls game. Even like if you think about Elden Ring, we've all just sort of played through. The parry mechanic in Sekiro is like you need to use it almost to progress. So it's a lot trickier. Like how you can roll away in like Dark Souls or Elden Ring. It doesn't seem to be as useful in Sekiro. But I think I've played maybe 2 hours or so. It's fucking difficult, as to be expected. But there's no magic in there. There's no there's not a slice of Emma tile in sight, Ben. But yeah, it's really, really good. It's one I'm probably going to try and take my time with. I don't want to spend hours upon hours upon hours playing it every night like what we're doing with Elden Ring. But yeah, I've been looking forward to playing it for a while. I was waiting to find it for a good price, which did. So happy with it. Yeah, really good. I would recommend it to everybody. Even though I'd say like if you did go through Elden Ring as a mage, like
cheese mage.
I think Alex, you did that, and I know Ben, you did that.
Proud of it.
Cheese mage. I would still recommend giving Sekiro a shot because it is totally different from any of the other games.
Do you think you'll get
different?
Do you think you'll get 1,000
well
G in
worth
it,
your
or is
time.
it just half-ass it?
Not like half-arse it, yeah. Yeah, maybe 750 G.
So that sounds like another bet.
No.
I've no idea what the achievement list's like, so no.
Yeah, I like the look of it, but the lack of magic does put me off.
Gory.
Well, we need a bit of magic.
Because I don't like parrying.
Disney magic.
I've said this before. I don't like parrying. I don't like using a shield. So if a game makes me do that, I'm immediately lost interest. Like attack.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, you can attack, but the enemies will just defend you. And I mentioned it in or defend themselves. I mentioned it in Discord that there's almost like a posture or poise bar that you can, if you're like hacking away with your sword, their bar will go up and up, and then they will open up a bit for almost like a finishing attack. And most enemies, it's one of these like finishing attacks for, I can't remember what they're called exactly. They'll finish them off. But like bosses, there's at this stage you need to do it twice. Yeah, cool. I'd give it a shot.
I can't say I'm tempted.
Is that what the title screen says?
Sekiro. What's his name?
Shadows die twice.
Sekiro.
Oh, that's a good thing actually. The Shadows Die Twice. When you die, there's an option to be reborn straight away. So I don't know if that's what it means by Shadows Die Twice. So whereas in any other Souls game you would die and it'd be you back to a bonfire or a grace site. In this you die, but you can be reborn again at that spot. Now if you die after that, you get sent back to kind of Buddha statues.
No. Do you have one? You get one life. Any notable mentions? No, that this week.
Nah, still playing through. Still playing through Earthbound. I've also started playing through Yoshi's Island. Is that what it's called? I can't remember its name.
You're playing it.
SNES. That one.
Yeah.
Baby Mario
World 2, basically.
Baby Mario 2D. Yes, that's it. Playing that, but I have nothing to say about it. You play as Yoshi, you can swallow people and poop them out as eggs, and you can chuck those eggs at people, and you have fun.
Who doesn't like throwing eggs at people?
Pooping them out, for that matter.
Pooping them out, indeed, yeah.
Pooping them out.
Very briefly then, while we're having little quick bites, I also started Unsighted last night, based on the Game Pass Game Club.
Game of the month.
Debuted on episode 2 of the X Players podcast. Well done, Alex.
Thank you.
Yeah, it seems like a very cool game. It's a very me game. Very much enjoying it.
It's all about you.
Yeah, so I reckon I'll stick with that.
Yeah, I haven't started yet. I have downloaded it. I'm going to plan to start it hopefully tomorrow. But yeah, that is the Game Pass Game Club Game of the Month. So please, if you want to get involved, come and join our Discord. We'll give you the links later in the show notes. I think if that takes us from this week's games, I think we maybe go back to the greatest games of all time and maybe do a little Ben's 10s revisited.
Sure.
Ben's turns.
So
it's really weird not having the bumpers.
I know. Can't win, can we?
yeah. So if you're a new listener and you haven't heard the last 6 episodes of CrossCast, we have been working through with our individual and our collective top 10 games of all time. So last week we published our Cross Players top 10 games of all time, and would we say we got some comments? Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah, just a bit.
Everyone just agrees with us.
Yeah, it went really well.
Yeah. It's a jolly good list. You've clearly put a lot of thought and a lot of math into that. Well done.
Can't argue with the math.
Yeah.
So I have kind of trawled through some of the comments we received, mainly on Instagram. So I have sorted these into a few different categories. So I took some time, extracted the comments, and I thought, so we've got our lot as comments from our community, the haters, the Elden Ring haters in specific, and then some who actually gave us some other suggestions, and we even found a sensible voice among there. There was a single one. So,
for context, do you want me to just run down the list really quickly?
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
So, number 10, Final Fantasy 9, 9, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, God of War, Super Mario World, Tetris, Hollow Knight, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Portal 2, Elden Ring, and The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Amazing list.
Yeah. I mean, there were certainly some notable omissions.
Do you not think Elden Ring's too high?
I think that's the opinion of many people. Sorry. Many people don't think it should be there at all. That's certainly probably one of the most consistent bit of feedback we've had. I don't know if that's a good point. So I have a few comments here specifically around Elden Ring. So we've got Elden Ring feels kind of like a stretch if we're talking overall. Elden Ring is overrated. This one was a bit more reasoned. It said Elden Ring is a masterpiece, an amazing game, but does not belong on this list. This game isn't a year old yet, and it's been put up as an all-time list. But then someone out there decided that was that wasn't quite right. And said, I believe that's the kind of impact it made. You can tell it introduced a massive amount of gamers to a subgenre that was basically niche until now, and has outsold the very game that tops the best-selling list every year. This will be a game talked about for many years and will take many, many Game of the Year awards this year. And this is coming from someone that wasn't even looking forward to it. I mean, that was a fair comeback, wasn't it?
Yeah, well played at Luc Demar. Nailed it.
So, I mean, was there anything else out there that really gave you a bit of a giggle?
I think the Elden Ring ones were the funniest, and then there was one guy that said Final Fantasy 9. Fuck yes.
Was that you, Dan?
It was not. Comments on it. And there's some of the people that were just like not getting it, and basically one person was going, Lilac Wars, Super Mario 64, Super Smash Brothers, Sonic, like literally just reeling off games that they obviously enjoy. It's going, yeah, that's fine, but that would be your list then. That's the whole point of us making a list. It wasn't easy for us to do it. No. And then somebody was like, Twilight Princess should be number 2, and number 3, Majora's Mask. It's like, calm down. Go on, Lou.
It's quite good that I think it's good that the comments that they've added the games in what they would pick, because the other one's like fucking shit, like just random comments where like just them just complaining about it. Shit list I see, and then Mark Cameron was like, "That's your list then."
Never replied.
List. Someone born in 2014 made this list. I've seen this on Instagram, and I was furious. I would have gone through every single one of those replies. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off.
I know. It was and then quite a few people just suggesting games that should have been right on there as well, which is just typical internet.
Yeah.
Someone on TikTok, Dan, said, "No Ghost of Tsushima."
Are you joking? No.
That's a genuine response.
We do.
Have we never mentioned it?
Handsome Tory said, "What? No Ghost of Tsushima on them?"
Let me get back to my garden party.
Handsome Tory pizza maker said.
Yes.
Handsome Tory pizza maker 69 said.
Yeah.
I did notice there was
Where's Fox Hunting Sim?
a few people called for Minecraft to be on there. And I don't know if that's just a generational thing, but there's a bit of that in Discord yesterday as well, wasn't there? Like,
it was surprising to see as many people mention Minecraft.
We all know that's
What?
oh, that was good.
Fantastic. That's good. I see no Mass Effect trilogy on there, so I question your credibility.
Got it.
We're not trying to be like, we're not being credible. As anyone obviously haven't watched the podcast.
There's another great one from TikTok. It's really just your opinion.
Yes, it is.
Oh, brilliant.
Yep. Thanks for clarifying.
I mean, that was the voice of reason on.
No, this is actually the 10 best games ever. This is not an opinion. This is fact.
Absolute fact.
There's math involved.
And then someone was just like, Wolfenstein, Doom, Crisis, Half-Life, and GoldenEye, question mark. No question, just like, as in intimating that all of those first-person shooter games should be on there.
Yeah.
And then somebody did suggest you should do, like, top 10 in 10, like 10 best games in the last 10 years. You're forgetting games for other systems, all-gen games. Like, I cannot compare Super Mario to Elden Ring. Come on now. You can. And you can. As long as you've got the balance of nostalgia and you've played those games when you've experienced them, whatever. That's why I think all had like nostalgia hit on our games, but probably admitted those games don't get into an overall top 10.
Yeah.
So, fuck you.
There was definitely a gap where I think we were all in like the dark ages of our gaming career. In the like 2000s, there's a big old chunk of stuff missing, isn't there?
So Mass Effect for me was one that I've missed, and
Same.
just conscious of that. And there's still quite a few on there where there was like, what's the other one as well? Like, I just missed Metal Gear Solid off my list. I probably would have put it on 11 or 12 or 13. Probably would have included on GoldenEye as well. I know we spoke about that quite a bit, but it was all list, guys. It was all list. If you don't like it, you know what to do. You can reply to us either on Patreon and join there, or alternatively go to Discord and tell us about what you would have picked.
Yeah.
I mean, I think now that we've seen the comments and the feedback, is there anything you're sitting there and like, I wish we'd done that differently? Is there any you're thinking, nah, we made the wrong choice there?
I think we kind of said on the WhatsApp when we were chatting in our little team group that we can probably do like a larger one, like a one including our patrons and that kind of stuff, which is probably a little bit more comprehensive, and also include all the other guys that are in that team as well. You know, that didn't get the opportunity to kind of put their games in. But you know, this was meant to be like the CrossCast kind of like top 10, and I think we achieved that. So I don't really have any regrets with the way it was done. I actually think the way that Ben managed although some of the subject matters were questionable at best, but the way that we then triaged those games down into whether or not they go into the 10 was a really good way of doing it as well. So like I said, it's all this for a reason.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, I mean, any closing comments in the top 10 is available to go. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen to the last 5 crosscasts, and you'll hear how we formulated it in each of our individual lists. And you might find some of those games that you think should be there were in an individual list. They just didn't quite make it to the overall list. There's also an article on the website you can read, or there's a nice video on Instagram or on our TikTok, at TCP Games on TikTok. That's our newest venture into social media if you want to have a look. Please, go have a look. Let us know what you think.
Ben, there's a video of Ben dancing about in a bikini on there. Just have a watch.
I think there's probably one of them eating his steak earlier as well.
Yeah, don't give the login to Laurie. That's all I'm saying. I figured out the algorithm.
But yeah, thanks for everyone that responded though. That was,
great.
Big response, and a few people on Twitter, Umbra Witcher on Twitter, at BBillsFan808, basically came back with really considered responses and saying, like, rather than just, no, that's a rubbish list, They were like, this is what I'd have on mine. I don't think this belongs on the list because blah, blah, blah. Stuff like that is you're like, thank you. That's actually a reasonable conversation. And then Shy Guy, especially, obviously Shy Guy's in our Discord all the time. And he just came back and said, a brilliant list.
Nice guy.
Indeed.
It's nice to get just a nice reason to not agreement, because you're never. I think it's nice to get some appreciation of a list as being a good list, and there's no arguing it's a good list of games. But I think everyone's list of games is different, and I think that's very evident of each of the 5 of the lists that we have put out there. And as Dan's mentioned, we are looking at doing a Patreon list for all of our patrons. If you would like to get involved, then please head over to patreon.com. /the crossplayers, where you can join from as little as £2 per month, and you get access to things such as our WhatsApp group for patrons, which is always good for getting the piss ripped out of you or getting some deals, spending your money. We're very good at that. Also,
turn you into a sticker.
That's the dream. If you want to be a WhatsApp sticker, then that's the place to come to. Even in our highest tiers, you can get a lovely CrossPlayers t-shirt, cheaper than you could buy it. So pop yourself up to that top tier for a month, save yourself some money.
We've got some nice logos as well.
We do, some lovely logos.
Some stickers. T-shirts.
Real stickers as well.
So, guys, I think that's it for tonight. A nice shorter CrossCast for once, but a very nice evening. Thank you very much. As I said, if you have enjoyed what you've heard, then please head over to our Patreon or just go to the CrossPlayers website where you find links to all of our socials, particularly to Discord. Please come join us in Discord. We love a new face in Discord. If you've been listening, maybe not quite pressed that button, do it. Come, play, get involved. I think that's it from me. Ben, where can our lovely listeners find you?
Find me on TikTok. Hot Bikini Dad. No, just Discord. Really, there's literally no point in us giving our Twitter handles because nobody follows us or cares.
Nah.
Whatever. Yeah. But, yeah.
Sort of shit.
At Benjikong on Twitter. Say hello. I think we should, to be honest, I think we should stop doing this thing at the end of the show.
Yeah. Let's just stop it then.
Yeah. Nobody goes, oh, that thing you said in the podcast, oh, that was really interesting. Nobody does that.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Yeah.
No. If you really care, you'll find a way to contact us.
Okay. But just before we go then, I would love to give a lovely shout out to our patrons. And
brilliant, he's literally done it. He's like, nah, fuck you guys. Carry on. I love it.
Well, what?
This is the one time that there's like
I know.
Ben gets loads of followers.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was so funny.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and if you don't appreciate what I'm doing, I'll just move on.
Oh. Yeah. Don't always listen to Ben. Don't always.
well, he was so passionate about it, and I probably got lost as to do like that because
we wouldn't have a website homepage if Ben has his way. Jesus, just don't always listen to him. God's sake.
Sorry. Right, I retract that. Lewis, where can we find you online?
Don't bother. The Discord is the best place. If you come to Twitter.
Leave me alone.
Oh God. Lewis, just
don't let him bully you, Alex. Don't let him bully you. Cyberbullying.
Oh God. I'm not even going to say anything.
Descended into farce. Right.
Sorry.
Well,
Farts.
You can find Lewis at that Dr. Fact, Dan at Dan Ward Tweets, me at SSAlex984, and let's give our patrons a lovely shout out, as I was about to do. So thank you very much to our brand new patrons this week. We have Jason Bajan, Carol Hughes, Steve Sticky Simpson, Max L. Wright, Ethan Hunt, and our lovely remaining patrons of Sean Hughes, Jason Frost, Lelena DeSoto, Sarah Purbrick, Rebecca Rudranath, Tim Olf, Luke Cooper, Kevin Scully, and the beautiful, fully alive Mark Hammond. Thank you all. We appreciate all of your contributions. It means a lot to us. And And good night from all. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Sekiro.
Bye.
Twice.
Oh, God.
Kept you waiting.